Hey, it's been a while since I've made a video, but I thought it'd be helpful to sort of share my experience in what it's like to tear your distal bicep tendon. Lucky me. If you're watching this video, you've either done it yourself or you're in the recovery phase. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up of what this is like, what it feels like, and kind of give you some light to the unknown. Did it rock climbing, went rock climbing, and there was an under grip where you had to grab it under and pull yourself close. And when I did that, it snapped. And the funny part was that it was like a little cove where you had to kind of pull in, and I was staring right at it. So when I was bouldering, I watched it snap, and I heard like a dull kind of thunk sound, and I immediately knew what it was. It didn't hurt, but you felt it, right? And it was an unusual feeling, so it always sort of startles you. And the minute that it happened, I jumped off the wall and I was like, hey, we need to go to the ER. I think I just tore my bicep. Went to the ER, and they were like, yeah, you definitely did something to your bicep. The place was full. They didn't have time to x-ray it or really give it a further look because they were just so full, but I was looking a little white because I think I was starting to go a little bit into shock in what had occurred. And they gave me an IV bag, and after some fluid I was fine, and their comment was, hey, you need to go see a specialist. And I had done this on a Tuesday, and it was in the evening, so that Tuesday night came home, and the whole time while I'm in the ER, my wife and I are looking online to see if there's a specialist that can see us immediately. And I live in Dallas, Texas, so we've got insurance, and we're looking to see who in our insurance could be available. And we had found a couple of places, but I couldn't confirm any online. But I went ahead and scheduled like 3 or 4 of these so I could try to get to see somebody that week, because we were reading that if you tear this tendon down here, it's important that you don't wait, I think, longer than 15 to 25 days to have it looked at, because then it starts to get scar tissue and it becomes a more difficult recovery. So, long story short, we had found someone that would see me the next week. So now Wednesday, it didn't hurt. It just sort of hung there, and I really didn't do anything with it. I just sort of left it there, and I could still kind of move it, and I couldn't supinate, I think it's called, when you move your wrist this way. I couldn't supinate it very well, but it didn't hurt. There was no pain, but again, it felt odd because the muscle had just balled up right here, and it really looked like somebody just stuck a tennis ball right there. Freaked me out a bit. But on Wednesday, again, it happened Tuesday night. On Wednesday, we had found someone that could see me that day, later that afternoon. Just dumb luck. So went down, saw the PA, and they're like, "Yeah, you definitely tore it. Let's get you scheduled for an MRI and an X-ray, confirm what it looks like, and then take next steps." So later that afternoon, got signed up for an MRI. They looked at it. They were like, "Yep, clean tear of your distal biceps tendon." And then after that, it was, "How do I get lined up for surgery?" Dumb luck, and I mean, again, really dumb luck, that the surgery got scheduled for that Friday afternoon, because the surgeon that we had found had availability that week before she went out on vacation. So couldn't have gotten any luckier, right? It happened on a Tuesday. Wednesday, I had somebody look at it. Thursday, sort of prepped for the surgery the next day, and then Friday, I had the surgery. And they did the typical surgery, which is they go into your radius, this long one here, and they drill a hole in it. I think it's Teflon string. They tie around the tendon, and then they pull it down, and then like a little cufflink button, they tie it to that and pull it through the bone. And guys, if you've done this, or if this went down for you, I can tell you, when you do it, it freaks you out. When you get ready for the surgery, you've got, just a bunch of nerves. You don't know what's going to happen, right? Surgery, you're not awake for, so you don't know anything about it. It just happens. So don't stress about the surgery if you've got it upcoming. When I woke up from surgery that Friday afternoon, they had my arm in a splint, wrapped up like Ricky Bobby says, got it wrapped up like a gordita. And they asked me if I could move my fingers, which I can, and then they asked me just to twist it, and I could, barely. And then right after they did that, they did a nerve block right then and there, which just kills this arm. And by kill it, I mean you don't even know you have an arm. It just hangs there. And they do that because they don't want you moving your arm. They don't want you feeling any pain. So I can tell you, after surgery, you're golden. The only thing that's really weird is the fact that you're gonna have it in a bit of a sling, and you're not gonna feel your arm. So you'll have no feeling in your fingers. It feels like somebody else's hand. And it feels like, I don't know if you, like when your arm falls asleep when you're sleeping and you wake up because of that tingling, that's what it feels like. So that tingling kept waking me up that night, and I slept up on a bunch of pillows with my arm just resting. Over the next couple of days, and by the way, I'm on day 3, 4, I'm on day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I am on day 8 after surgery. I can move my arm. There's a very dull pain, by the way. There's always been a dull pain, and by dull, it doesn't keep you up at night, but you can feel it clearly. I can't twist it, nor do I want to try to twist it, but I can make fists, I can wiggle my fingers. I can't type because your fingers can't reach, which really sort of sucks. But I can move my shoulder, which by the way, it feels pretty good to do this because your arm, your shoulder, and your back starts to hurt because of the positioning of your arm. So I just want to give you guys a heads up. Don't stress about surgery. You're not going to feel it. It's going to fly by. After surgery, the only scary part, or the part that gives you some uneasy feeling, is the fact that your arm feels odd and you don't know what to expect and when you're going to get your feeling back. Because like I said, I'm on day 8 right now, and I still can't feel my thumb, can't feel the top of my hand. And they were saying that there's a chance there could be some nerve damage from the surgery. But until I go back for my post-op, which is next week, so I've got another 6 days for that, we'll see if this gets better. I mean, I'm optimistic that I'll get feeling back, but at the end of the day, I just want to get full range of motion and be able to climb again. We live on farms, so it's kind of hard to go feed horses and cows and dogs and cats and barn cats and take care of the barn when you're all gimped up. I tried to do that yesterday, and the hard part was my arm actually started getting sweaty inside this thing, so I had to kind of knock it off because I didn't want to kind of gross it out. But the other thing, I just want to give you a heads up, if this is something that's happened to you and you're going to kind of live through this, and I'll give you an update after my post-op, which is another, like I said, 6 days, but you got to learn some patience. And I mean, I realize I have no patience in my life, either from work or I'm running and gunning or I'm just doing stuff. I gotta find a way to just chill, because this won't let you live at whatever pace that you're normally used to living. Like I think, on Wednesday, I have an office job, and I work from home, and while I was, working, I can't type emails. So I'm typing left-handed, and I realize how hard it is when you can't express yourself to get your thoughts out for work. And that's really frustrating. And it wasn't like I had a breakdown, but I mean, I really got frustrated with myself. And I was like, God, is this going to get better soon? Because I don't want to live this way. So I can only imagine what it's like for people that have one arm or some sort of limb impairment, that they have found ways to work around those. Because I just, goodness, I find that just so interesting now. But I just want to give you guys a heads up. If you're going through this, have patience for yourself. It'll get better. I'm finding ways to find patience, and I think it's going to take some time. But I just want to give you guys a heads up. Your arm will get better over time. I'm looking forward to the post-op, because I think that'll give me a better indication of what next steps look like. I'm expecting to be in a brace that will constrict my range of motion. Again, I'm gonna have atrophy in both arms. I'm gonna have atrophy in both shoulders, as well as kind of my core. So I'm trying to do as much walking as I can. Like I said, this doesn't hurt. The key is just, you know, I live in Dallas, Texas, so to go out and go walking, you kind of get hot and sweaty. So I'm trying to find ways not to make this gross, but, you know, a way to exert myself and to keep at least some muscle left on my body. Oh, and then the last thing I wanted to tell you, keeping yourself clean is hard. I'm right-handed, so now I'm learning how to use my left more and more, and it's hard. Some people, I'm assuming, take a shower and we'll put this in a bag, but I was just terrified that, you know, I put a bag on and then water would get seep in and it would go down my arm, and then this would start to mold. Because I hear it does. This gets stinky if you get it wet, but I've been taking, you know, baths every other day, and that's not too hard. I mean, the hardest part is just getting this one armpit right here clean. Aside from that, you can pretty much get yourself clean and you can kind of be self-sufficient. But man, the one thing I've just learned is just be patient. So if you're going through this, be patient, deal with it, you'll be okay. You know, and then just work through what comes your way. But I just, you know, everybody says trust the process, and I think that's probably the best thing you can do is, man, go with the flow, trust the process, get through it, and you know, at that point, I'll tell you how rehab and all that stuff looks like, because I am not looking forward to it, but that's probably going to be the closest that or that's going to be the hardest thing to do to get me back to normal and get me back on the wall and climbing again. So, wish you guys the best. Get well, and I'll give you guys a heads up of how things go on the next post out.